Hello, what is going on? And in today's video we are doing that time again. It's the championship predictions for 2022 to 23. The season is nearly upon us. It kicks off in just 4 days with Huddersfield taking on Burnley at Yorkshire and it's Vincent Kompany. Let's see what happens. But we're also going to predict the season as we know it, the table, the top scorer, the top assister, all that lovely stuff. So do smash a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. It costs nothing. You join the cool gang and make sure you turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single one of these juicy videos. Of course, I will get around to doing my match week 1 predictions as Watford kick off at home to Sheffield United on the Monday Night Football. But before we do get into that, let's predict how the season will pan out. Let's look back at this all the way in May 2023 / July 2023 and see if we can get it bang on. So, I hope my future self won't be looking at this video and thinking, you are an absolute plonker. He'll be saying, "Ha, you are a genius." Anyway, let's move on to my table. So, what are we saying then? Before we do predict my table though, if you want to play fantasy football but for the championship, you can go to gaffer.io and put in the code capital Z, little c, dash, capital I, K, 01, underscore, little m, capital E, 6, small k, capital Z, capital S, capital G, R, 1, capital G, capital N, dash, capital D, capital A. Oh yes, that's right. That's the code you can join. It's called FPL Yellow Army on Twitter. That's how I'm known. On YouTube, of course, FPL Yellow Army. That's my Fantasy Premier League account. But on this account, it's going to be gaffer.io, Roberto Hollis 9. That's where you can follow me on Twitter to catch up with any details. But let's get into it, shall we? So, first of all, we're going for 24th place. And in here, I'm putting a team that, unfortunately for them, usually get relegated in the Championship. And that is Rotherham. Now, Rotherham last season did get promoted at the first time of asking. Fair enough, Paul Warne. You got to rate that from him. But at the end of the day, the summer transfer market is difficult. And there's a big task for them to basically keep punching above their weight. I think they finished bottom. Sorry, Rotherham fans. Nothing personal. 23rd spot now, and this is the tough one, I think, between 3 clubs, but the team I'm going for is Reading. Now, the reason I say this is Reading last season were pretty diabolical, and they're just really fallen off a cliff since, the times of Paunovic. So, yeah, it's not great, I'm not going to lie for Reading, but let's see what happens. Ultimately, I'm here to be convinced wrong, but with Paul Ince coming in, I don't know. He's got to defy the odds to keep them up. And Shane Long's a good signing. Jeff Hendrick as well. But I'm just not too confident on Reading, I'm afraid. 23rd spot for them. In 22nd, though, we're going to go for it. Wigan. Now, Wigan could stay up. But I just get this feeling that despite what's going on behind the scenes at Birmingham with the club owners, I just feel that Wigan are just struggling. And, only 2 seasons ago, they had that, deduction that led them into administration. So there is still reports of more cash flow problems and the owners have denied it. But, no new signings by late July. I just feel like that's always going to be a problem. So Wigan, I'm sorry, but you are going to be the 3rd team relegated alongside Reading and Rotherham in 22nd. Now, 21st, Birmingham. Now, I admit, Birmingham could get relegated this season. Part of me thinks I don't want them to because Troy Deeney, his boyhood club, it would be a sad thing to see. But also, John Eustace, former Watford player, of course. He is their 9th manager since 2016. I mean, that is quite a lot. I can't lie. But they just got to stabilise themselves. They're still being undermined by ongoing speculation over the future and ownership of the club. But it's just the squad investment. It's been very, very minimal. And obviously even at St Andrews, there's incomplete major repair work. So there's been a lot of Birmingham kind of turmoil and tension, but I don't know. I think the odds are going to be against everyone, and it's going to be a big upset, but Birmingham are going to stay up just to pip Wigan to that safety spot. But moving on to 20th now, and this is where I'm going to put Blackpool. Now, Blackpool last season were fair enough. I thought they were going down. I genuinely did. But they did enough. They did enough, and they just about steered clear. But I think second time around, they'll probably find it more tricky. I mean, Michael Appleton, good manager, obviously came from Lincoln, and he's back for his second spell in charge of the club after Neil Critchley left to go off to be assistant at Aston Villa with Steven Gerrard. But Appleton, he's been forced to be quite patient in the market. So I still feel it'll be a difficult season for Blackpool, but I think they're just about going to do enough, and they will take that, to be honest, survival in that 20th spot. Moving on to 19th now, and I think it's between two teams, but I'm going to go Hull City. Now, Hull, I just don't know about Hull. Like, they do worry me because, you know, I mean, Lewis Potter's a big miss, of course, but I mean, they'll take the 17.1 million because, you know, they've got some good players, but I don't know. I just think they only survived just about, and he has got Premier League aspirations, Akun İlkalay, their new Turkish owner, but I don't know. Shota Arveladze, I've never heard of him, so maybe they can go for playoffs, but I think this is going to be a tricky season for Hull, in my opinion. 18th spot. Now, moving into 17th, did I say 18th? I meant 19th, I think. Yeah, I meant 19th, sorry. Moving into 18th spot, we're going to go for Sunderland. Now, Sunderland, people will say they're going to push for the playoffs, but for me, I think it's a bit of progress under Alex Neil, for sure. Patrick Roberts is a good signing. They did well to get out of League One, but, you know, they've not done a lot of transfer activity. I think mid-table is going to be probably realistic, but maybe their defence will just mean they're a bit closer to relegation than mid-table, but they'll be enough to stay up, I think. So, yeah, that's what we're going to go for. Moving on then to 17th, we're going to say Huddersfield. Now, Huddersfield, obviously, last season, pretty gutting to lose that playoff final. But at the same time, like, I just think with them, they really have fallen away a little bit. And I think, well, that Huddersfield, I don't know, I say they've fallen away, but it's just Danny Schofield, like, what is he going to do? They could go for playoffs, but I don't know. It's a tricky one. I can't lie. It's a tricky one. But that's where we're going to put them. In 16th spot, though, we're going to go for Stoke City. Now, Stoke, fair enough. They've recruited Joe Allen and Dwight Gale. Sorry, not Joe Allen. They've left Joe Allen. But, you know, I feel like Stoke, they're a good enough team, but they're still going to flirt with relegation. Moving on then to 16th spot. And this is where we're going to put a bit of Cardiff. Now, Cardiff, do I think they're going to stay up? Yes. But are they filling me with lots of confidence? No, not really. Because, look, the pressure is still on. They only just stayed up last season under Steve Morrison. And it's pressure for them to gel. They're going to try and go for the playoffs, but I think they're going to fall short. Moving on to 15th, though. This is where we're going to go for a little bit of Preston. Now, Preston last season, I mean, it was a bit ropey, I'm not going to lie. Like, there was points where I thought they're not going to get through. They're not going to stay up. But, you know, Ryan Lowe did well after coming in for Frankie McAvoy. But it's a rebuilding process. Like, releasing 13 players in May is going to have an impact. Like, obviously, Ben Woodburn, Robbie Brady have come in. But I think the Lily Whites might struggle because it's just such a competitive division. So they'll probably try and stay up. They'll take safety. And that's where I think they're going to finish. Moving on then to 14th. I think we've just done 15th. 14th spot, though, we're going to go for Preston. No, I just did Preston. Bristol City, sorry. Bristol City are going to finish here, in my opinion. Bristol City, obviously, last season were a bit ropey. under Nigel Pearson, but they did enough. I just think, there is a bit more optimism now with, Jason Ewell coming in. I think they're going to do okay. 13th spot, though. We're going to say Queen's Park Rangers. Now, the reason for that is, I think, decent appointment in Beale. Not Ian Beale, I'm afraid to say. But they've got a strong team. They've looked decent in pre-season, to be fair. And, he did some good stuff, Beale, with Gerrard at Rangers and Villa. But I think they're going to finish mid-table. So 13th there. 12th, I'm going to say Swansea in 12th. Because, look, last season they weren't great. I can't lie. This season they could finish top half, maybe playoffs. There's a chance of that. But, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to take a big effort. And, last season, Russell Martin kind of struggled a little bit. Allen's come back, obviously. They're going to go for it. They're only playoff finalists a couple seasons ago, and obviously they're trying to get over that heartbreak. But I think they're going to be strong. So they could be fit higher up. They could be lower down, but I'm putting them there. So that was 13th, I think, wasn't it? Or was it 12th? No, it was 12th. So in 11th then, we're going to go for Luton. Now, I don't really want to put them that high up, I can't lie. But at the same time, they were pretty decent last season. Fair enough. Yeah, they were pretty decent. They did some good business last season. They got playoffs last season. Just got to say fair play. But they're not getting promotion. No chance. Then we move into 10th spot. And this is where we're going to go for a bit of a surprise. I think a lot of people will have them higher up. But I just think they're not going to do that well this season. I've just got this bad feeling. And that is West Brom. Now, sure, they've got some good players in, like Swift. They have Steve Bruce at the helm. But I just don't feel it's going to happen for West Brom this season. I've just got this bad feeling. There's a lot of expectation. Look, at the end of the day, they're going to go for the playoffs, but I just think they're going to fall short. Okay, moving on to 9th spot then. In 9th position, we are going to say a little bit of Coventry. Yeah, you heard that right. Coventry. I think Coventry are one of those teams, they really do surprise you. I mean, last season, fair play, 12th. That's strong. That's really strong. So, I don't think 9th is outrageous. I think it's decent. 8th spot now, and this is where we're going to go for Blackburn. Now, the reason I say Blackburn is they've been so close so many seasons, and I feel like something's got to give. Admittedly, they flirted with the playoffs last season, and that was all they did. So maybe this is a good prediction in 8th, but I wonder about, the departure of Lenihan. That's a big hole. I just think they need to get good players in. It's as simple as that. But that's what I'm going for. 8th spot. 7th, to just miss out on the playoffs. Now, this would be gutting for your team if you supported them. It's a tricky one. To be honest, I'm forgetting about which teams I've actually said and which I haven't. So just bear with me, people. Have I said Queen's Park Rangers? Yeah, no, I have. I think that this team is going to be Millwall. Have I predicted them? No, I don't think I have. Yeah, Millwall. I'm going to say Millwall. If I have predicted them, I apologise. Then I'll instead say... Oh, I'm not going to lie, people. I'm baffled. I'm baffled. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go Millwall. I could go Stoke, if I've not already gone them. So those are the options. Then we move on to 6th. I'm going to say Middlesbrough in 6th. In 5th, Sheffield United. 4th, Burnley. 3rd, third place, I'm going to say... Did I say QPR? I don't think I did. Basically, what I'm saying is I've got through all of the teams eventually, but the order I've said them in, even if it's been a bit jumbled. So, like, let's imagine I said, I don't know, Huddersfield in 18th, but then if I've said Huddersfield again later on, then you take it as 18th. So then in third, I'm going to say, I feel like I've run out of teams. I don't think I've said Preston, have I? Let's put Preston there. If not QPR, I'm pretty sure I've said Cardiff. If not, then Cardiff. But anyway, let's get to that second spot. It's going to be Watford. I just hope so. And first place Norwich. Now, I actually think we could realistically finish as low as 8th, but the optimistic Watford fan in me says we'll finish second. I'm not sure if that will happen, but let's just keep our fingers crossed. So yeah, hope that table wasn't a bit too confusing for you people. If you just write it down as you go, who's my team, etc., in the order, then it will sort itself out. But let me talk about my top scorer prediction. Now, I think Watford's top scorer is going to be Joao Pedro, because, come on, who else? I think our player of the season is going to be Hassan Kamara. Our young player of the season is going to be Asprilla. He looks really good. The youngster, 18 years old, looks very strong. Obviously, he's not related to Faustino Asprilla. No, that's someone else. But Yasser Asprilla looks fantastic. And then surprise player of the season is always difficult because, I don't know, but I'm going to say Tom Deli Bashiru. Now, I don't know if he's going to play. I hope he does, because he's talented for sure. But he just was plagued by injuries, when he was at Watford and when he was at Reading. I think he's going to do well. If he starts, that is. If not, then it would probably be Kayembe. I think Kayembe was a bit of an underdog last season, didn't start many games, but looked good when he played. So that's what I'm going for. But in terms of the overall championship, who's going to be top scorer? It's not going to be a Watford player, in my opinion. As much as I'd like to say, Ray Minaj or Bayo, I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to either Timu Puki or possibly like a player in the playoffs. So I could see there being a situation where it's a Burnley player. So therefore, it's going to be between Jay Rodriguez and maybe Swift from West Brom. Although I had West Brom pretty low. No, actually, we'll go Twine. We'll go Twine for Burnley. He's got a lot of kind of hype, and we're going to predict him as the top scorer in the championship. Top assister in the championship. As much as I'd like to go Hassan Kamara, it probably won't happen. So instead, we're going to go from someone from West Brom, actually. And West Brom have got a lot of good players, I can't lie. And it's going to be an amazing achievement to finish 10th and yet have one of the top assisters. But that just shows it's going to be who I just mentioned earlier, Swift. And then we have top clean sheets. So who's going to be the goalie with the most shutouts? For me, I think the most solid defence in the Championship this season is going to be Norwich. So therefore, who am I going to say for the most clean sheets? You guessed it, people. Norwich's City goalkeeper. And who is that? Oh, only that legend, that absolute legend that goes by the name of Tim Krul. Yeah, I'm not messing about, okay? So yeah, Tim Krul, that's what I'm predicting. Those are my predictions. Get yours in the comment section below. And as I did say the other day, but I'll say it again, if you want to join my fantasy league, the code is capital Z C dash capital IK 01 underscore M capital E 6K capital Z capital S G R1 capital G capital N dash capital D capital A. And if I haven't said capital there, assume non-caps. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye-bye.